division speech contests. We're very pleased that it's a really a wonderful effort between people from a lot of areas and a lot of different divisions. Zoom has enabled us to cross divisions. We don't have to worry about driving. So we're able to welcome Simon Cornwell, Warren Hayden, Anne Nelson and Lisa Dodis, who are all experts in their field. And we're very, very pleased to be able to present today how to conduct online speech contests. There's not only one way of doing things, but hopefully you'll find hints, tips and suggestions. And then at the end of the session, there'll be time to ask plenty of questions. I think it's really important to actually keep them to the end because we all have the what if scenarios and we want to keep on target to get the technical and the knowledge across. And then we can get to the nitty gritty in the question and answer. Jim, have you got anything else to add?
Not really, just to say thank you everyone for showing up. I appreciate all of you giving up your time to learn about how to do a better speechcraft contest, be it for your club or for area or division. And I'd like to also thank Denise as co-host for helping set up the session. She's done a lot of work on this, so thank you. And I'll hand it back to Denise.
Denise, can I just interrupt here and just say, can we please acknowledge Mark Snow, program?
Oh, I was just about to, just great minds think alike, Simon. I wanted to acknowledge any of the our district leaders. I can see Mark here, and I also can see past district governors, past district executive, all accumulatively. Thank you for your support because we're all in it together. And the old and the new brings us up to newer levels. So thank you so much. And can we give the district leaders a round of applause, please, for their support? So part A, Lisa Dodis, the area director of the year, is going to talk to us about what can be done before the online competition. The more that you can do beforehand, the greater position you're going to be in because prior performance will prevent poor performance. So without further ado, can we welcome Lisa Dodis. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Denise. There is one thing different about this year. Catering like this is not an option unless you do it yourself. So this year it looks very, very different. We're not going to have the social interactions that we always have with face-to-face. We're not going to have the great catering, the key speakers, the educationals, and even the council meetings.
And a bottle of wine.
None of that will be happening this year because we're going to be online. Nick, shut up. Excuse my background noise. So this year, there is two people other than the organisers, and that is at area level, it's the area director. At division, it's the division director, and so on. The one thing that is most important is that you allocate your chief judge and your Zoom master. They are the two most critical people in your contest. The reason why is because the chief judge is going to be the person that will brief all your judges, and it will be different this year because they will have to do it online. Your Zoom master is going to be a crucial part of your contest as well. And it's really, really important that you, as the organizer, if you are the organizer, and the chief judge and the Zoom master get together and have rehearsals. Get together and have a meeting. What will the day look like? How will it run? And actually nut it all out. and then to be able to get everyone online and actually do rehearsals with them. So I'll go through a couple of the key things that will be a little bit different this year as well. Once you've selected your chief judge and your Zoom master, you then need to look at your grid people. So your grid people are still your sergeant of arms. You still need timers. You still need ballot counters. So all of these people you will still require. The timers. One timer will of course be doing the virtual backgrounds. Absolutely crucial that you know those people can support the backgrounds. And when I'm talking about the backgrounds, of course, I'm talking about the timing lights. So you will need to make sure that your timer can actually change the backgrounds and that the backgrounds don't go all fuzzy. As we've often seen in club meetings, some people, the backgrounds just don't work. So make sure when you do have your timers assigned, they can show the green, the amber, and the red without any interference on their backgrounds. So that is something that's really important. Another thing that is also very important. Most people here today, I can see quite clearly, but I'm sure we've all been in club meetings where there's at least one person, maybe, you just can't see them very well. They don't have a good camera, or their webcam maybe is dirty, or their bandwidth is really, really bad. I would encourage all clubs, if you have a member of your club that you are representing, they are representing you in area, make sure that you actually work with them and support them. It's so important that this person is representing your club. Loan them a webcam if you need to. Tell them they can go over to someone else's house and actually do it online there. But the big thing with that, it must be online. One thing that we are not having this year, which has been asked, no streaming, no pre-recording, must be online. That doesn't necessarily mean though that I can't go over to Simon's house and say, hey, Simon, look, my bandwidth is really rubbish. Can I actually use your computer to do my speech? As long as he's not competing directly against me, he'd probably agree. Another thing is also in the relation to your briefings. You will still need to have briefings exactly the same as you would in a face-to-face contest. Only difference is your briefings will be online. Recommendation, within the same week as your contest. So if your contest is on a Saturday, have your briefings on a Wednesday. Sometimes it's actually convenient for everyone, but at the same time, not too far out. Sure, you can do all your planning now, go for it. But your actual briefing should be done within the week of your contest. As I said earlier, don't schedule in any council meetings for the contest. Do them at a separate time. No keynote speakers, no educationals, raffles, all that sort of thing. Just keep it simple and do it well. The judges, the contest hostmaster, the contestants, and other officials, the other important thing is we have to circulate the paperwork. There is no turning up on the day and filling in the paperwork. Make sure eligibility certificates and profile forms are all sent back to the contest chair and the chief judge. The chief judge will still need to look at eligibility. Eligibility of the judges. Make sure you get out early when you've actually assigned your judges. Make sure you get out the eligibility forms to the judges. What will happen with forms and voting will be covered by the other facilitators later. So I won't go into any of that at this point in time. But getting the paperwork out exactly as you would in a contest, make sure you get it out now. Your timers, for example, your ballot counters, send the scripts now, not later. Now, if I may share my screen. I will actually go on to, so everyone should be aware of the District 69 Toastmasters website. In here, we have the members and the resources. Inside the resources, come on now, is the speech contests. This information has been updated to have the 2020-21 speech contests online with the resources down here. So in here, you have a sample online contest run sheet. Excellent guide. I've had a look at it. It is a really good, easy follow guide. Your sample scripts for your contest chairs. These are scripts that have been changed to actually factor in the online, as opposed to the scripts that are on there for the rest of it. And then there is a lovely, wonderful guide to online speech contests. I would say anyone involved in any speech contest at any level, have a look at the guide. It's also really, really good. There is a Zoom Master training presentation there. There have been a few things that have changed, which I believe Simon possibly will be going over later as to what has changed there. But it was also a great presentation. With the actual contest chair, you go to a contest, your contestants turn up and you do a briefing. Not this year. Your contest chair will need to brief your contestants earlier, maybe a day out, maybe the same day. I would encourage your contest chair to be in touch with the contestants so they can do that briefing. There is something that happens between a contest chair and the contestants. And this is where I'm going to ask for my wonderful, lovely assistant. Yes, I brought an assistant with me today. Rianne, everyone. So the one thing that has been suggested, and I really like the idea, we would normally have cards, and the cards you would normally shuffle out and get the contestants to pick a card. And on the back of the card would be 1 to 6. And then, depending on who's got the lowest, next and next would actually go in that order. What we have is, as you can see, cards. Now, Simon, can I ask you to pick a card here from A to, where's my A?
I don't need an A. I'm going to pick a D.
You're going to pick D. Okay. Simon, your number is number 4.
Thank you.
Liz Hudson, would you like to pick a card from what is remaining? You're muted there, Liz.
I want to be ahead of Simon, so I'm going to go for a B.
B, okay.
It'll be last.
Oh, you are actually ahead of him on that one. Okay, Warren, you're unmuted. Pick a number, please.
F, please.
F. Okay, let's go for a couple more. Anne, what would you like?
I'll have E, thank you.
E. All right. So now we have numbers behind them and we find out who picked E. That was Anne.
Mm-hmm.
And that's number 2. You're actually going first. Now, who picked B?
Someone.
So? Liz. Liz, that's number 3. You're going second. Who picked D? That'd be Simon. You're going third. And Warren, that makes you the last speaker. So as you can see with this, A to F is not, it's alphabetical. Thank you. Is alphabetical, but not numerical. So therefore, you can ask your contestants to pick a card from A to F and you randomly choose which ones they actually correspond to. Great way of doing speaking order preference online. Of course, you can get creative as contest chairs and do it however you like, but that is just a great suggestion. And also keeps in with the card idea that we do face to face. With the paperwork, all paperwork will be submitted via email. All paperwork is to be signed. You can take a photo of your paperwork and send it in. That is not a problem. In relation to the judges, Your eligibility forms, of course, must be in prior to the contest, as it would have to be with a face-to-face contest. Any forms that are done on the day, I'm speaking here of the timing sheets, the ballot counter sheets, and the judges' forms, will all still need to be sent to the chief judge, but just to make sure that everything is actually in order. And as with face-to-face judges, you are to destroy your paperwork once you have sent it to the chief judge, who will also destroy it once they have been clarified. There will be, so I've got here sort of like, normally at a conference, contest, we would have the contests, we would go out into various rooms for judging, for the debrief, and for any other kind of evaluation of the contest, anything like that that we need to do. This year, it'll be done via breakout rooms. I'm not going to go into that any further because it will be covered later on in this session, but there will be rooms for everything to happen as it would normally happen in a face-to-face meeting. I think that pretty much covers most of the things I wanted to cover. I will just reiterate though, the chief judge and the Zoom master, the most important people to nominate first, so that you can actually go through the day and how it's going to pan out. Make sure your timers support the backgrounds. Briefings should be done within the week of the contest. All contests must be held online, which means no streaming and no pre-recording. If you're sitting there with questions on what happens if I drop out, that will be covered later on in this session, so stay tuned for that. Making sure that all of your contest officials are briefed, making sure that all paperwork is submitted, and that's pretty much it for me. I will hand back now to Denise. Thank you.
Lisa, could you make a brief comment on notification of winners, please?
Yes. The actual notification on the day and how in the contest and how that is going to happen will be covered when we do it later on in the session. And the contest chairs, as I said, the breakout rooms will be used, or breakout room. However, like all the paperwork is said on the day, the timing sheets, the ballot counter, the judges' sheets, and also the notification of winners must go back. So for area, it must go back to your division director. This can be done through your chief judge. So that way you're just sending all the paperwork to one person, and then that can go from there. But yes, notification of winners, any paperwork at all that you would normally do. So think about how you would actually have your folder and who gets what folder and what paperwork is done. Whatever paperwork is done in a face-to-face contest will still have to be done. Any paperwork that has to be signed in a competition has to be signed. So your paperwork, look at it as if it's face-to-face and just do it digitally.
And
Thank you.
finally, Lisa,
Yes.
the concept of the rule book. How does that fit into the online competition?
It's exactly the same. The rules are the same. The only difference is we're online. So therefore, any protests, anything at all that would come into the rule book, it's the same thing as we are going to be covering later, I believe, the etiquette online and how that will look different to what we have with face-to-face. That will be covered shortly. But anything at all with the rule book. So it includes eligibility of the contest chairs, eligibility of the judges. Anything that is in the rule book that is a rule is still a rule.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's give Lisa a big round of applause. She's got a wonderful